Before I launch into this rant, I have to add a caveat here. The BYD Dolphin has been revealed, a price has been revealed in Hong Kong. The base model, it's 37,000 Australian dollars. That's about 25,000 US dollars. That price is really good for what is a very good car. But unfortunately, there is a big problem here. That price, well, it's unlikely it will be repeated outside of Hong Kong. The price of the new BYD Dolphin, it's just been revealed in New Zealand. That's the same model we'll be getting in Australia. And I have to say, I'm very surprised by just how expensive it is. What I'm concerned about here is that it appears as though BYD are following a certain strategy. Their strategy is very different to their strategy of the way that they sell cars in China. Clearly, they don't really make much profit on the cars in China, almost nothing. The strategy in China is to get market share, crush the competition, sell as many cars as possible. But the international strategy is very, very different, and I don't think I like it. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. It's great to see you. My name is Sam Evans. I'm the Electric Viking. Thank you for tuning in. I've been singing the praises for a long time of BYD, in particular the BYD Dolphin. The first video that I made about the Dolphin was a long time ago, and at the time I remember saying, if only we could get this car in Australia, if only we could get this car in other countries all around the world. And well, I don't know, someone at BYD was clearly listening to me. Kidding, of course they weren't. But we got our wish. But it seems like maybe that wish didn't turn out the way I thought it would, because the Dolphin starts at around 15,000 US dollars in China. Yes, I know the specification is a little bit different. Not all that much different though, you'd be surprised. But still, that's a big difference to the price that was just revealed. The worrying trend here is pricing of BYD vehicles in overseas markets, which is substantially higher than it is in China. When I say substantially, I mean a lot higher. I mean, it's actually not that far off the price of Tesla. In fact, it's pretty much on par with the price of Tesla's vehicles. If you think about it, the BYD, the closest model that they have that compares to a Tesla Model 3 base version is the Atto 3. Now, the BYD Atto 3 has a range around 450 kilometers. The Tesla Model 3 in its cheapest variant has a range of around 491 kilometers. In a lot of ways, they're similar cars in terms of interior space, but overall, the Tesla Model 3 is a little bit bigger, and I'd say has a much better software system. That's just a fact. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. There's some advantages to both cars. The Tesla Model 3, though, in my opinion, considering the longer range and the fact that it's a bit bigger, is a car you could expect Tesla would charge more money for versus the Atto 3. I've owned the BYD Atto 3 and I've had quite a lot of driving done in the Tesla Model 3. And to be honest, the Model 3 is definitely, it's the better car. The Atto 3 is a good car, but the Model 3 is, in my opinion, the better driving experience. The price, though, isn't much different. The Atto 3, it's around $53,500. The Tesla is $61,000. That's very close. It's only a 10% difference in price. In New Zealand, though, the Tesla Model 3 actually isn't much more expensive than the new Dolphin. Now, in New Zealand, you can get a Tesla Model 3 for $64,000. Actually, around $65,000 if you include all the fees. So $65,000, but that's including your on-road costs. Well, New Zealand BYD have revealed the price of the Dolphin. Obviously, the Dolphin is a much smaller car than a Tesla Model 3. Is it practical? Is it a great car? Absolutely, it's fantastic. I love the new Dolphin. The international version is a bit longer, a bit bigger than the Chinese version. It's a great car, but I do question the pricing strategy here. The price is $56,000 for the Dolphin in New Zealand. For the comparable version, the longer range version made a WLTP range of 427 kilometers. So the Tesla has 60 kilometers more range, a fair bit bigger car. It doesn't cost all that much more because unfortunately that price in New Zealand doesn't include on-road costs. So average on-road costs in New Zealand for a car of about that price is about $1,000. So that means if we're to compare the Tesla's drive-away price versus the BYD's drive-away price, it ends up being only an 8,000 New Zealand dollar difference. 57,000 versus 65,000. Am I missing something? I don't get it. I'm just confused here. I think this looks like potentially profiteering. That's what I think it is. BYD's strategy, according to New Zealand's BYD distributor, is to make more profit on overseas markets because they don't make a profit in China. That's what he said in a YouTube video in an interview where he talked about the pricing of BYD's vehicle. So BYD's done the same thing in Europe. Their cars there are not selling that well because they're too expensive. They're actually more expensive than Tesla's vehicles, more expensive in many cases in many countries. When I looked up the numbers in Europe, it's actually hard to find this information because it's all different. They're all sold through dealers, and Tesla's really easy to find out the price of Tesla's cars in any European country. You just go onto Tesla's website, you select the country you want, and it brings you the prices up. It literally takes a couple of seconds. To find the prices of BYD's cars in Europe, it's much, much harder. However, they're different everywhere. Approximately, though, they're on par pretty much with Tesla's vehicles. I'm not sure that strategy will win because in some cases, the Tesla vehicle has more range and it's just simply better value. So yes, BYD are doing incredibly well in their own home market of China, incredibly well. But whether or not they'll be actually successful as a mass market business overseas depends on whether or not they continue to follow this expensive pricing strategy. Now, why do I say that? Well, the equivalent MG4 is actually cheaper in New Zealand than the BYD Atto. The MG4, it's probably more of a well-known vehicle and it's received rave reviews. But this just gives you an idea of where I'm going with this. MG4 pricing is a little bit lower than the Atto 3. How long will it be before mainstream automakers are able to bring out cars which are more affordable? Well, in my opinion, it will happen within the next few years. We're going to see cars priced similarly to the MG4 from mass automakers. One of them will be Tesla. There's no question about it that Tesla will introduce cars cheaper than the Model 3. Now, if the Model 3 is already not that much more than the BYD Atto 3 and the BYD Dolphin, then how much cheaper will the new Model 2 be? Well, I don't know exactly, but I think it's pretty clear it's going to be possibly even cheaper than these cars from BYD and from MG. Why do I say that? Well, Tesla is planning on making millions of them every year. Tesla have said they're going to make more of this new model, the Model 2, let's call it, than they do of every other model that they sell. They said they're going to make twice as many Model 2s as they do Model Y, already the best-selling car in the world this year, Model 3, Model S, Model X, Cybertruck, and Semi. Put them all together, all the numbers they sell of all those cars, put them all together, double them. That's how many Model 2s Tesla say they'll make every year. To do that, to sell them at that price, they're going to be clearly selling them at a cheaper price than the Model 3, probably significantly cheaper. And this could happen very soon. I think Tesla have a sense of urgency about making the Model 2, but they've clearly been working on that car for years. They've been talking about it for years. They had a Chinese design studio working on this car 3 years ago. I think they're more advanced into this manufacture of this car than what they make out. They've been probably manufacturing versions of it, pre-production type versions in China. That's my guess. I know they haven't built the factory yet that'll make this car, but I think it'll happen very quickly because it's Mexico. It's not Germany. They don't have to go through all the loops and hurdles. Things just get done when you build things. When you build factories in Mexico, they just get done. All the paperwork, it just magically gets approved and things get done. So that's what companies like BYD will have to contend with. Affordable cars coming probably not just from Tesla, but from other car companies as well. Other Chinese car companies will bring EVs to Australia, to Europe, to New Zealand, and they'll be pricing them affordably. If BYD doesn't, then I don't know what their strategy is. Will it be an all eggs in one basket? Just keep on selling cars in China at cost price? That's not really a long-term sustainable strategy. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and thank you for watching.